Hello everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of the Game Channel. Today we are talking about one of the most frustrating problems in PC gaming, random game crash. First, here's the quick fix. If your PC randomly crashes in Unity games, Unreal Engine games, or games like Trials in the Sky First Chapter, and changing graphic setting and reinstalling the graphic driver or clearing the shader cache doesn't help, do this right now. Go into your BIOS and temporarily disable those things. That's the quick fix.
What the fuck?
I have the problem. After disabling these three options, Trials in the Sky First Chapter run over 30 hours without a single crash, and I finished the entire game smoothly. Why? The reason is simple. These features aggressively boost your CPU to higher frequencies on some systems, especially with certain Intel 13 or 14 Gen CPUs. That boost can become unstable under workloads such as shader compilation, which is common in Unity, Unreal Engine, and some gun-ho games that really rely heavily on CPU. Disabling them immediately fixed the crashing problem for me, but I wasn't satisfied. I didn't buy a 14900 KF just to run it below its intended performance. I'd also noticed the lower frame rates and the occasional stuttering in other games. For example, I was getting only around 40 FPS in the Helldivers 2 in the lobby. So I kept investigating until I found the real solution. The permanent fix is perform a clean graphic driver installation using DDU method. Update your motherboard BIOS to latest version. After updating my BIOS, I re-enabled the CPU features and the crashes were completely gone. Normal OXC00005 crashes, normal 64 DAO 0, and the normal mysterious unknown module crashes. If you are only here for the fix, I hope this video helped. Please consider subscribing for good content in the future. If you want to know why the Windows kept blaming 64 DAOs, why the BIOS was actually the real culprit, and how I prove it step by step, stay with me. Let's dive into the investigation. At first, I was convinced it was a graphic driver problem, so I did what everyone would do. I reinstalled my graphic drivers, I tried different driver versions, used DDU to completely remove and reinstall the drivers. I cleared the DirectX shader cache, I cleared the NVIDIA driver cache, I verified the game files, lowered the graphic settings, running in the administrative and compatible mode. But nothing changed. That crash kept coming. Then I noticed something strange. Not every game crashed. Most of the crashes happened in Unity games. Some Unreal Engine games also crashed, but many other games run perfectly fine. That made me question my original assumption. If the graphics driver was truly broken, why were only certain games crashing? So I started collecting evidence. I checked the Windows event viewers after every crash. Sometimes Windows blamed the 64 DAO, sometimes it blamed an unknown module. But every single crash shared one thing in common: 0xC05 access violation. I also analyzed these crash logs and discussed it with ChatGPT to see if I had overlooking something. The results surprised me. If a completely clean graphic driver install using DDU still produced the same crash, and Windows couldn't even identify a faulty model in some cases, then the graphic drivers probably wasn't the real problem. My hardware also passed every stability test outside the game. That means I have to start looking somewhere besides the graphic drivers. At first, I still suspected the game itself. I knew that Trials in the Sky First Chapter has reports from players suggesting a possible memory leak, and I also noticed that most of my crashes happened in Unity and the Unreal Engine games. At that time, I didn't know whether those issues were related, but I started wondering if those games had one thing in common. Yes, their frame generating is ultra heavily rely on the CPU. Besides that, there is a problem in my computer, for sure. Cause some players have zero problem with it, and apparently crash problem for CPU normally caused by overclocking. Maybe my CPU's aggressive boost behavior was interacting those workloads in a way that caused the crashes? I don't know. So this leads to my theory. Overclocking CPU would crash the game. I reboot my PC and enter the BIOS. One by one, I disabled Intel Turbo Boost Max Technology 3.0, Intel Speed Shift, and Turbo Mode. That means every overclocking technology, I disabled them all. I saved the changes, restarted the computer, and launched the game. I honestly didn't expect much. I thought the game might last a little longer before crashing. Well, that's okay. But instead, it will never crash. It never crashed. 1 hour, wow, amazing. The game never runs a whole hour without crash. 2 hours, my finger are crossed. 5 hours, I think I got it. I finished the entire game without a single crash. That was my first real breakthrough. The crashes were not random, and they were directly related to the CPU boost behavior. Thus, the theory is confirmed. But not happily. I was happy when I finished the game without crash, but I didn't buy a 14900 KF to run it without overclocking. Doing so reduced the performance in other games. I noticed lower frame rates and occasional stuttering, especially in games that depend heavily on the CPU performance. So I start to investigate what's wrong about it. I started looking into Intel's recent stability issue with 13th and 14th generation processor, and turns out they could cause some well-known problem if your motherboard doesn't update. They call it microcode update. So your CPU can communicate normally with 13th and 14th generation CPUs, otherwise it will cause the unstable problem and crash the program somehow. That made me curious. I checked my motherboard BIOS version. It was 1825 and not the latest. At that point, everything started to make sense. If my BIOS was using older microcode to cooperate with more aggressive CPU behavior, it would cause the trouble. It could explain why disabling overclock worked so well. So I updated my motherboard BIOS to the latest version. After the update, I restored all the CPU settings back to their defaults. Overclocking was enabled again. Then came the moment of the truth. I launched a game that had been crashing for days. Well, 1 hour passed. Good. Then 5 hours. And in New Game Plus, well, the crashes seems to be gone. Completely gone. Not only did Trials in the Sky first chapter become perfectly stable, but I also regained a CPU performance I had lost by disabling overclock. I believe that was the real solution. And why didn't more people find this solution, so I don't have to suffering all this? I guess because we all heard this advice. Don't update your fucking BIOS if your PC is working fine. Well, not after everything we've been through in this investigation. If you're only here for the fix, I hope this video helped. Consider subscribing for more good content like this. I'm out.